engaged learning project, our group, Team Lavender, decided to pair with White Owl Native Ancestry and Wasakta Winawak to help and learn in the Guelph Arboretum Tea Garden. Wasakta Winawak is a land-based organization focused on cultivating environmental and agricultural spaces within urban areas to allow people to reconnect with the land and nature. Together, Kaya, Leanne, Jeannie, Julia, and I all had the opportunity to learn and work with Dave to tidy up the tea garden before winter. In our digital story, we'll start with a walkthrough of our group's experience, narrated by Jeannie. Then Kaya will discuss how we can take care of the land and give back. After, Julia will bring our experiences into our course concept of food sovereignty. Finally, Leanne will close with the Dish with One Spoon covenant.
Completing specific tasks within the tea garden also aligns with elements from an Indigenous knowledge system and the new ecological paradigm, concepts from Sociology 2280. An element of an Indigenous knowledge system is learning by doing and experiencing, Varghese 2022. For example, the purpose of mulching is to prevent weeds from growing. That way, specific garden species can thrive for an upcoming season. We learn this by placing ourselves within the natural environment and completing these tasks weekly. Our senses such as sight, smell, and listening were also used when harvesting sage and yarrow. This further strengthened our understanding of specific plant properties and why they are grown within the garden regarding local Indigenous culture. The new ecological paradigm emphasizes that humans are but one species and that nature and humans are independent, Varghese 2022. As a group, we ensured that with an open mind, we can learn how to contribute towards this natural space without placing ourselves above nature, but rather within. By looking after local spaces, such as this tea garden, there is a shared responsibility from us to nature and vice versa about what we have to offer each other, life.
During this course, we've learned many times that if you take care of the land takes care of you. The first time that our group came to the garden, we were given tobacco to offer a plant. This is a way of taking care of the land and showing respect for plants. We were told to go sit and introduce ourselves to a plant that we were drawn to. Sitting with a plant for 15 minutes was something very different for many of us. This taught us to slow down and to actually get to know where we were going to be working for the next few weeks. Although we did not have access to tobacco in subsequent weeks, we carried this idea of reciprocity throughout our work in the garden. We made sure that we actually connected with the plants around us rather than simply doing garden work. We tried to learn from the land as we were working with the land.
While working in the tea garden, we got to contribute to food sovereignty in our community. Food sovereignty is the right that peoples have to healthy and culturally appropriate foods, produced through ecologically safe and sustainable methods, and their right to define their own food and agricultural systems. It also ensures that the rights to use lands, territories, and biodiversity are in the hands of those who maintain the produce. For our group, this included harvesting herbs, pruning weeds, and using mulch to protect sage flower beds. From working in the tea garden, we now have a better understanding of the importance for ecologically sustainable methods of farming within Indigenous communities, as well as the cultural need for food sovereignty, as it ensures a fair income to all peoples, as well as the rights of the consumer's food and nutrition.
The seeds that are produced by the plants in the tea garden are stored for future use and shared with the Indigenous community in the area. The tea garden provides for the community as a shared resource. Thus, those who partake are to apply the dish with one spoon covenant, to consider sharing the products of the garden like sharing a dish, to take only what is needed from the dish, to always leave something behind in the dish, and to keep the dish clean. While caring for the tea garden, we acted to keep the dish clean by removing growth that is old or invasive. If ever harvesting from the garden, partakers must always leave behind enough to share.
Created using Powtoon.